Right then, so my discs have both gone, and I've just bought the replacement parts, £355 plus. I've got a rear piston and seal rings that I've got replaced on the back caliper. Yeah, and this special glue, grease they've given me, rubber grease for the seals. So I'm going to attempt to do this today, right now, and try and replace both the disc. So I'm going to do the front one now, and first thing I want to do is just loosen that bolt. I think it's called the axle, to get the axle out. Loosen that, and then that should come out. Then I'll jack it up, and also before I jack it up, I'm gonna loosen the bolts for the disc. So once it goes up on the stand, hopefully it will be stable and I won't drop the bike, because the stand is a bit dodgy. Yeah, and also the ABS lights comes on, especially when I do about 70 miles an hour. It comes on, and then that's it doesn't go off. So maybe I need to clean the sensor somewhere in there. I think there's a sensor. This is where the sensor is. But look, you can see, I think the disc is knackered. Maybe this is why the ABS is like it's coming on. I don't know, but it does look knackered. Right, let's jack it up, and we'll go from there. Right then, so I've managed to jack it up with great difficulty, and also put a jack there just in case it falls, give it a bit of support. So I made a mistake just trying to unloosen that, but it's obviously you've got to loosen that first, and then this will loosen up very quickly and easily. I've also unloosened the caliper bolt, and that's the sensor, I believe. So yeah, that's all loose. So now just going to take the axle shaft out, and then hopefully the wheel will drop and we can start on the disc. Right then, so in order to take the axle out, you have to get a screwdriver, something like this thin, and you've got to whack it out after you've undone the thread, and then this just falls out. Yeah, so now get this on the table. Make sure we don't mess these up. Keep them on the right side, in the right way. There's one on this side and on this side, so we don't mess that up. Right, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagon bolts. I know this doesn't look ideal, but I'm going to try with this one. If not, then I have to get the 3/4 or 1/2 inch extension on that. Try and knock them out now. Right, let's do this. Okay, seems pretty nice and light these are to undo. Yeah, that one. So there's not a lot of pressure on them. Okay. Alright, so when I replace, I'll do that, show you next. Okay. Sweet. Yep, sweet as a nut. Okay. So, I've given these fellas a good rub down with sandpaper, back and front. And I think, for you people, make sure you sandpaper and give it a good little rub around both sides, back and front and rear. As you can see, there's little grooves there, so that will help the brake pads contact much better, and also have taken off as much of any excess film off. But I have touched it again, so I'm going to have to rub it down a little bit more and make sure it's proper clean. Right, so we're ready to replace now. Here we go. Right then, so make sure when you put it on, you can see the arrow pointing that way. That's the front facing, and I've replaced everything, put the 6 bolts back in. Now when you tighten the bolts, don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go the opposite end. One end, that one, then that one, and that one, that one, and that one. I think these needs to be torque wrench, but I'm just going to go with my own strength and judge it by that. Okay. Right, so the disc is on, everything's ready. I've greased up the axle with copper grease. Right or wrong, I don't know. Let me know if you want to tell me. So yeah, now just put the spacer back on there. Put the spacer back on, lift it up, Bob's your uncle. Right, here we go. Right, so I've got everything on, put the axle through, tighten that up. Now I've got the caliper, it's still off, but I'm going to take off, I think this is the sensor. I'm going to try and just take that off and clean it. Maybe that might be, or unless the disc was the problem, so it might go away, but to be on the safe side, I'd rather doing it all over again. Whilst it's off, I'm going to undo this and just give it a little clean up. See if I can, hope there's nothing else to do on it. Right, so I've taken it off, and I don't know if there's anything to do on it, but I'll give it a good wipe. I hope I ain't fucked it up, but anyway, I'm going to give it a good wipe and put it back on. Right then, so basically I've taken the exhaust off, the end can, 2 bolts to take the caliper off. I'm going to change, I'm going to change the piston, but I'll do that last. So undone the bolt, there's a washer here that comes off it. Now we've got to bang this out, this will drop, and job done. Right, let's do it. Right, so this was a bugger taking it off. You're going to laugh at this, but the bike did fall on me. Luckily it fell in a way that I didn't get hurt, but it was a damn task, because well, it's too much to explain, but yeah, I had to jack it up in all sorts of ways, get it on the stand. But now anyway, this should be simple to do. Again, the same principle, take the bolts off, job done. Right then, so I've put the disc on. Now I did mention earlier on that stupidly I dropped the bike on myself, and luckily, miraculously, I didn't hurt myself or get injured in any way, so God bless me there today. But I did break the clutch lever as it fell. So there's my brake lever's gone. I have to get a new replacement. And there it is on the floor. How the bike missed me, I don't know. But there we go. It didn't even damage my end can. Right, so what I'm going to do now is pump the brake pedal from down here and push the piston out, and hopefully we can get a new piston and ring in, and take the caliper off, undo this, and take the whole unit off. Right, let's go. So I've pumped the piston out as much as I could by pressing, and it's not coming out anymore. So I'll have to pull it out with a plier now. I'm going to undo it from here and then pull it apart. Right, so I've taken the piston out, you just got to pull it out with the pliers and it will come out. Now I don't know if you can see, there is a thick ring there and a thin ring there. I've got to take that out and clean the inside of that groove of where the rubber rings will fit in there, and then just insert the piston back in and then put it all back together and bleed the brake system. Alright then. So the ring comes out pretty easy. Now because I'm doing it one-handed, what you got to do is get something like this sharp and just pull it out. Come on, you bastard. Yeah, fucking thing. There we go. Job done. That's that. And the second one is down there. Now I'll give it a good clean and replace it. So, luckily the dealer gave me some of this rubber glue, they call it. So I would have thought that with a piston ring set you'd get the grease, but they don't supply it in the pack. So he's kindly gave me a little bit like this. So this goes all the way inside both the rings. I'm going to put it actually on the rings themselves. I'll grease this fully up and then grease the other one and stick it in. So here's a new piston, and I've already greased the rings in and they're already in, and I think I'll just give it a little layer of grease on here and then stick it in. So after nearly 4.5–5 hours I managed to get it done, despite dropping the bike on myself, nearly killing myself. Yeah, so I did manage to break the brake lever. Brake lever. But I'll still be able to manage it for temporary till I order a new one. So yeah, fingers crossed it will be all okay when I ride it, and hopefully the ABS light will stay off now. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.